This is Tina Scharf. She's a consultant with the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department. Is that right, Tina?
Yep.
And Tina's been helping us, advise us on how to put up this osprey nesting platform to prevent the ospreys from getting hurt by trying to nest on a power pole.
And inconveniencing hundreds of your customers as well.
Tell us about it, Tina.
So last year, it seems as though it's a first-year pair of ospreys tried to build a nest over several poles down right by the road on Route 36 and Fairfield Swamp, and shorted out the lines and started a fire. And they could have killed themselves in the process too, but I don't think that they did. So anyway, that was a difficult situation for VEC, for all of you to have to deal with. So you had to take that nest down and put up some insulators and such, and to prevent them trying to build there again. And so then the question is what are you going to do with the birds? Because we know that they'll come back and try again. But as far as last year's nest goes, it probably was a practice nest, because first year birds generally don't lay eggs. So they build a nest, but they don't lay eggs, and the next year they come back and then they do lay eggs. And then, so I think there was no loss of productivity last year because of this problem. So I think that everything's really fine.
So you'd expect the exact same birds to come back here.
Same pair, should be.
And where are they coming from?
They actually go to South America, and they jump over birds that are resident birds that live year-round in Florida and Georgia. They fly past them and go right across the Caribbean and go down to Brazil and Venezuela, the northern tier of South America. And so when they come back, they're going to have this incredibly beautiful apartment, furnished apartment over here to choose. And VEC has also put up some shields to try to discourage them from going onto that pole. And this will be a huge encouragement for them to just come right here and settle in. And we're also going to put up some of the sticks that they gathered last year. We'll put them up on the, the linemen will put those sticks up on this new platform, and that's a very, very attractive thing to ospreys, to have some sticks already there. Ospreys tend to like to congregate where other ospreys are, because it kind of is a clue to them that there's good fishing there, and that's what they do for a living. They fish, and they fish for surface birds, so they really like shallow marshlands where there's a lot of surface feeding fish. And so in places like this, and Fairfield Swamp, it's not as big a fishery as we have in Lake Champlain and Otter Creek and whatnot, but we're getting so many birds that they are starting to move into these areas. They're moving away from Lake Champlain, and so we're starting to get them further inland, I say, but it's not really inland, but it's away from Lake Champlain. And so we have another pair of nesting ospreys in Fairfield Swamp that are about a mile north of the road here, and in a very, very quiet place that you can only get to by canoe. And then these birds, I don't think Fairfield Swamp could really handle much more than maybe one other pair at the very southern end. But
I see something sticking out on the side. Is that so they can twirl it around and angle their nest toward the sun?
Yeah, that's a perch. And the birds makes it an even better place for the birds to settle, because it has a convenient perch. Usually the males perch on the perches, especially when the chicks start to get large. It gets crowded on the nest, and the chicks are very active, and so, well, the female eventually will also use the perch. But I think these birds, they should do fine. They should do fine. They have a great new place to live.
So we'll certainly look forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, and this will be watchable wildlife right here. We hope that people will be careful driving down
Tina.
You're welcome.
Vermont's Fairfield Swamp is a welcoming destination for migrating waterfowl and other species of birds. Thanks to the efforts of the Vermont Electric Cooperative, this pair of osprey will now have a safe and welcoming destination at the end of their long migration north.